Good morning and welcome to Tequila. I'm kidding. Sunup on 7. Before the couch talk, we have to give you our weather, and it is courtesy of the Belize Met Service. Here you go.
Morning, hot and dry weather will prevail today. The 24-hour forecast is for skies to be sunny today and partly cloudy tonight. No rain is expected except for the chance of an isolated thunderstorm developing over the mountains this afternoon. High temperatures today will reach near 90 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 97 inland, and 84 in the hills. Low temperatures tonight will range from a warm 78 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 74 inland, and 67 in the hills. Residents, especially those inland, are advised to stay hydrated and to avoid outdoor activity as much as possible, especially during the late morning and afternoon hours. Winds over the open sea will blow from the east and northeast at 10 to 20 knots, and sea conditions will be choppy to moderate. Low tide will occur at 10 minutes after 7 this morning, followed by high tide at 17 minutes past 1 this afternoon. The sun will set at 7 minutes after 6 this evening and will rise again at 5:41 tomorrow morning. The moon will rise at 10:14 this morning and will set at 11:55 tonight. The outlook for Friday and Friday night is for skies to be cloudy at times. Isolated showers and thunderstorms may develop over southern and inland areas in the afternoon, as well as offshore, and then mostly over northern and coastal areas in the night. In this week's sargassum update, there will continue to be a high chance of sargassum mats drifting ashore during the next few days. In the fire risk forecast, the risk for brush or forest fires will continue to be high during the next 24 hours. And that ends this morning's weather report and forecast from the National Meteorological Service.
It is going to be hot again, Renata.
I saw a lot of people yesterday complaining about how hot it was.
It was, and it was a dead, still heat. And I mean, where I am, I usually get nice breeze, but it was just dead. I had to go and wet poor Louis yesterday. Just wet him up, make sure that he's all right, because he was just panting all over the place. People, please take care of your pets. If they're chained up, please make sure they have fresh water. Please wet them every now and again. Please keep them out of the sun in the shade. Please, 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 because heat strokes are a thing not only for humans, but for animals as well. So please, just do that.
And I think we're really getting that Easter weather now, so make sure you stay hydrated, make sure you're taking your regular showers too as well, because sometimes your deodorant not that strong, so you just make sure you stay safe.
Put on one more stick just in case.
One more spray, one more stick, whatever it is that does the job, you do it. But you know what else is trying to do the job? Or
Tequila, what?
You know what? Tequila is your word for the day, isn't that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're moving. Brandon is going to randomly shout out tequila throughout the show, obviously. So just get prepared for that, viewers. But another thing that has been happening on the scene, and I think a lot of people have been seeing it too as well, because pictures are posted, people are talking about it, the parking meters and businesses. So specifically, I know I saw someone post up the lack of crowd, lack of car, lack of everything on a big...
I think we have the footage there, right?
They have the footage on a big lunchtime where, people are normally out, people are, buzzing and coming and driving and all of these things and parking, but no one really seems to be enjoying this parking meter program right now. I know there's some people that said, maybe it's because, we're going into Easter and people don't normally stay in Belize City for Easter, so we don't see the best of the, parking meter program right now. If it was more in September, maybe you would see a lot because people have to park or so, but we obviously are seeing no one's parking.
I mean, and the interview that I saw was coming from the north side, the strip area. And Premium Wines, the owner of Premium Wines, was actually saying how inconvenient it is, because you would have to park in front of Premium Wines to get your bottle or whatever amount of bottles you're getting. But in order to park there, you have to park there, walk all the way to DigiPark, get a ticket, come all the way back, punch that ticket in the parking meter, go into Premium Wines, spend about 3 minutes to 5 minutes the most, just to come back out and then drive off. So all of that walking, all of that inconvenience, that was what the owner of Premium Wines was saying.
But the Prime Minister never said we're supposed to walk more.
Will ostriches be allowed to park? We don't know.
I'm just saying, you know something, I think it's hard too as well. Like I understand, again, moving into a smart city, getting these initiatives, it's really just a program right now. This is just a project, a phase to see if it's going to work. But I've heard so much pleas from people saying, gas done expensive. Then now I have to pay if you park somewhere like, oh no, no understand the economy and our rise. I don't get no pay increase. My increments not to come true. These things are not happening for us. So the money that you're having, like, it's just getting stripped away into other avenues and you're just trying to stay afloat. Because if you think about it, 150 start add up 150, 150, 150, and it's hard. And I know they're also.
But I bet you they're going to find $50 to buy the weed ticket.
Well,
the weed
that's the thing. There's a lot of people that are against that too. So it's just a matter of seeing where are your priorities, where are your budget, and also what you can afford too. Because people could prioritize about these things, but can they afford it? Will their pay stretch for all these things?
I think for certain people, obviously there's two sides to the story. So there are people who are used to parking out there and just running to one of the bodegas them to get food and then going. Then you have like this chicken truck here who is there, and that's where they do their business, but now they have to pay to do their business there. I could imagine some of the fights, like food trucks and things like that. But there's the other side to it where, you know what, there were people who had to circle over and over just to find a parking spot. They don't want to park up in the red zone because they might get ticketed, all of those things like that. So they are now saying, well, no, I have one parking spot where I could go chill for a few, take up my time, use up my 30 minutes, or use up my hour, go eat the Thursdays or Midtown or whatever the case may be. And, you know, they enjoy that. But then again, like I said, the flip side, the business owners as well, they're seeing that people aren't parking in front of them. Or maybe they park somewhere else and they can walk. Or never try that too.
That's, I mean, you know, get that leg work in, you know, then leg juices the
One
flow.
and two and three and
you
four.
Know, count them steps. Do that and tell you that at least step as your phone must have to go off. But you could reach that 15,000 steps in that day if you do that parking far. Just throwing that out there.
But Cherise blew my mind last night.
Tell me why.
So, the thing is, who their parking meters come from?
Who did it provide?
Food for thought.
Because somebody to come up.
And that one leave it. So Better Park Solutions. I went and I tried looking them up on Google, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. I don't find nothing yet, you know. I
haven't either.
So who is Better Park Solutions? Was there a public tender for the provision of these parking meters? We don't hear
all
about
this
that.
Information has not been revealed. I don't know if it's going to be revealed. I mean, of course, now we're asking the question, so we're hoping that people can be transparent and say how it's going about. Because I understand it's an initial stage, it's a phase and everything, but we still want you. We need to be accountable. Oh, you know what? The 610, 57,
we are calling here today.
We are calling during the commercial.
We are call on set.
Call and
set. They set we up for though. Don't set we up for though.
But definitely. Just a question to probe your mind and wonder, where are these things coming from? They never dropped from the air. Obviously, 610, 57, 79 has the answers and give it on TV.
But when you call out somebody, they'll say, morning, and just to get up. Oh gosh, well. Yes, Better Park Solutions, we need to know some answers from the mayor. We need to know some answers from Better Park Solutions. Like I said, I haven't seen them advertise. I mean, it's a new thing. Was there just a new company created for these parking meters? Was there a public tender? Was there consultations on this? We don't know. So we're looking forward to some answers.
Answer me. So we'll see if that comes to fruition, what's going to happen with that. So as we move right along on a more sober note, I'm not sure if people were checking out news last night and saw the heartbreaking story of a mother that has her daughter right now presently, and her diagnosis is a mystery of what's happening. So basically, this mother, the story goes, her daughter is in second form, very young, very vibrant at first and everything. Honor roll student too as well. Let me just add that.
Right.
And just one day, things just switched and changed with her. Her speech was different. She was saying random stuff out of nowhere. Like her body became a little bit immobile where she could not go to the bathroom without getting help from others.
Right.
She became a little bit more detrimental to herself and others, where she came like a little bit, I don't want to use the word suicidal, but she was attempting harm to herself.
Self-harm, right.
And her mom has made reference that she said a couple things about saying, you know, she doesn't want to be here and these kind of things because, of course, the state. And she goes in and out of it too as well. The thing that's been very crazy is, you know, she's taken her to a psychiatrist here. She's gotten the x-rays and stuff like that, but they have not been able to understand what's happening. It's still a mystery. She said she still has to do one more scan to go
An MRI.
An MRI, yes, and to see what's happening. But it's super hard. She had to quit her job.
Yes, and I know her, and my prayers go out to her. Well, we know each other from Luca. Everybody at Luca knows me, but I know her from there, and I have recently not seen her around, but now this story comes, and I'm like, oh, wow. And it was a heart-wrenching story, seeing all of this last night, and just wondering what she's been through. So many tests, nobody can really diagnose what she's going through. Not even a psychiatrist could diagnose what it is that is currently occurring to this young lady, and it must be at this time so frightening, so scary, what is happening to her only child.
Yeah.
So that is something, our prayers go to you, Ms. Sutherland. We hope that you do find an answer to this. And
she is pleading to the public too, as well.
Yes.
If anybody knows, you know, what is happening, they've seen something like this, please just reach out to her. You can go back and check out the news story. There's her number there too as well, that you can just contact her to see, because it's really just a confusing state right now where you're just troubled to know what is happening with your child. And so if you know anything, for our international viewers, you know, that maybe have seen something like this, a case like this in any kind of way, shape, or form, please forward some information to her where she can be able to check with a doctor or somebody to see what's happening. I can't imagine not knowing what is happening with your child, and it being to this degree where your child really can't even use the bathroom without your help, and it goes, like she's saying random things, like it would make
and scary things too.
Yes, and
seeing things and hearing things that aren't there. It is somewhat frightening, and people, let it be a lesson that at any moment in life, anything can happen, for the good and for the bad. And this is just one example. Like, it was just random things she started saying, and then from there it just spiraled off.
Yeah. So again, prayers go out to you, Ms. Sutherland. We just pray for the best on this journey, and I'm hoping the community can extend some kind of, you know,
knowledge,
help.
Yes.
You know, the thing what I said, like, she's not even asking for anybody to give donation, and it, like, she didn't even care about what she's worried about right now. Is just understanding the situation of what is taking place right now.
I mean, education is power.
Exactly.
So the more you know about whatever ailment your daughter is suffering from, that's a huge step in the right direction, because you know then what route you need to go. Yeah.
So I'm moving on the next note.
Yes.
If anyone has watched UNCUT last night,
I learned that tequila was the first cousin of marijuana.
who's the wife? I think alcohol that the wife, because alcohol, you know, people say that one of their toxic lovers kind of thing, like Ali Jada kind of finish.
I love this toxic. Yeah.
However, UNCUT last night was hotter than yesterday. And what I have to say is, you know, the points that were made were very, very true.
Yes.
You can see they were on point. They did their research. They came from knowledge base, you know. And also what I really appreciated from Mr. Wade was saying, you know, when it comes to the scientific part of seeing, you know, the medicinal purposes, and so he can't talk on that. And he rightfully said, I don't can tell you X, Y, and Z. Like, I know to a surface level kind of thing where I know the terms and stuff, but we should get somebody, and the doctors that come in, the psychiatrists that come in, people that come in, because when Jules was talking about the medicinal purposes and how, you know, beneficial it is. And I know he made a very good point that you know, there's numerous ways to treat many things, like glaucoma and all these stuff that people use marijuana for. But I think it's a very interesting conversation. I'm hoping people can go and check it out to see the points. Again, very, very, very...
I don't know. I like you said, there was research done, but we never had an opportunity of exploring that said research. And then Jules, Mr. Jules, as they called him last night, had asked for this research to be shared to him, and not from some religious, scientific search, coming from an independent, objective research. So it's not anything based or coming from a background from the church or religion or anything like that. Something that struck me last night, though, was the idea of children and marijuana. And there was Pastor Pitts, I think it was, that was giving his experience on when he used to actually, smoke weed and, deal and all of those things like that. And it's quite interesting because we are seeing that here in Belize where because they hold our heads, they hold our crime heads, they don't want to actually go do the dirty work. They do give the children the weed to go and sell or distribute or whatever the case may be. And they end up in that lifestyle. So it is very interesting, like I said, where it comes to the distribution of weed now, or marijuana. I will call it marijuana to be politically correct.
Yes, that's politically correct here.
How will it be regulated? There'll be dispensaries, yes.
There'll be licensing, yes, but...
But, I mean, you still can't stop the flow, the underground, or the how you call it, the...
Black market?
Black market of it.
Yeah. And the thing is important, again, a point that was made, just the idea that, yes, we're doing this license the ID for 21, but let's be real. When you look at alcohol, the age is 18 and people the 15-year-olds are still able to purchase it from the alcohol store a lot of times.
You're going to send your child to the store and
they get cigarettes and everything.
As long as they're not in their uniform, they will be sold it.
So there's definitely the conversation about the children, and we've had numerous conversations on this show about, just the process and the ages of when children are developing and they're growing their brain, and, this is the developmental process for them. And of course, weed has effects on it too as well. And, again, Pastor Pitts was making great points about the children he's worked with too as well, that they can't function. And I saw somebody in the comments say, well, just like alcohol, weed, marijuana, they're not for everybody. And that is very true, but this marijuana bill will also open the avenues for it to kind of be a little bit more accessible for everyone too as well. Although we have the age restrictions on it too, I think it does open the avenue for, you could probably grow 18 years, lots of different things. And so we do also have to look at those avenues that are being looked into.
But one thing that struck me last night, and I mentioned it the last time that we spoke about this, Renata, was the fact that the financial system, the banks now, how will they be regulating this money from proceeds from something that was illegal before? So marijuana is a very touchy issue all over the world. We are now seeing a movement where we're pro-marijuana, but are the banks, the financial institutions, ready to be able to regulate the income that will be coming in? And I watched a little interview with Mr. Isagiri, Mr. Glenford Isagiri, who used to be the past governor of Central Bank. And he was saying that places like Jamaica, they're having a hard time right now regulating all those finances because the banks aren't accepting it. The banks are very wary because, like I told you the last time, it's not, we internally in our banks could regulate it, but when it comes to our correspondent banks, who may be from countries or places that have not regularized it or have not legalized it, we stand to have them just cut us off. And then from there, what we going to do with our correspondent bank? We can't wire, we can't do nothing after that. Things just going to get hard, rough.
And it's super hard to see
right?
Smoke the marijuana to calm down. But again, great points that were made last night. A lot of things, again, to look into it, of seeing how we can be able to move forward with this. This idea of a referendum is still something they have been heavily pushing. They're saying they're going to launch a petition to force a referendum too as well. We'll see how that plays out for people out there. I do know that there has also been talks about having teachers and not to sign the petition too. There's a lot of things going on.
It's a thing I would personally like to see a referendum because, like Pastor Wade said, it shows us once and for all where the Belizeans are at, in what percentage, more or less, if we're pro or we're anti-marijuana. So that should be a very interesting thing. I don't think we've done surveys or research on that before.
No, and there's not like Mr. Wade said, there's no survey also on, you know, the usage and does it have any detrimental effects when it comes to driving and all these things. But there's a lot on the ground that needs to be done. Personally, I know I like the idea of choice, but referendums are super expensive. So
yeah.
economically, I'm just like, I don't know if we're in the place to afford it. We barely afford parking meters right now. The struggle is real. So anyways, but
You're being detached, Renat.
I'm being sorry, so sorry. I'll get better one day. So with that, we have come to the end of our couch talk. Thank you for everyone that's been tuning in, that's been, you know, commenting and so forth. We move on to a commercial break. We have a beautiful sunrise for you.
Courtesy of Mr. Welch.
Ooh, and that is gorgeous.
Mr. Welch, I give you your props today. I give you your props today. Applause, applause. Maybe some tequila later.
Because
But-
Brandon props mean so much. But anyways, with that, we go to our first commercial break. And when we are back, we're going to be scratching and winning. And hopefully, we're doing the latter. So stay tuned for the exciting conversation, demonstration, and let's see if you know and you can scratch to win too as well.
Make
So
the scratch.
let's scratch this off. We'll scratch to a commercial break and we'll be right back.